Futures trading involves risk and is not suitable for all investors. Content provided in this segment is meant for educational purposes and is not a solicitation to buy or sell commodities.
Hello, everybody. Welcome back to another episode of Tech Talk. I am Cody. He is Andy. It is Tuesday, March 11th, just about 4 o'clock Eastern time in the afternoon. Well, quarter to 3 your time.
I love how you threw in there. Hi, by the way.
Well,
I love how you threw in there in the afternoon.
Well,
like we're doing this at 4 o'clock in the morning.
I could tell you a long story and make it short, but it'd take too much time. I've learned to be very specific with my times.
Noted.
That's why.
And we just had daylight savings time, by the way.
We did.
How about that?
We did. Yep.
How about that? Did you spring forward? Like, how'd that feel for you?
Sprung forward, lost a little bit of sleep. That's okay. We're back on track. The sunshine is good.
But what about your shoveling business? Don't you?
It's gone. Snow's all gone, man.
Snow's all gone.
I have to get a lawnmower here in a second.
You're just like full of I mean, it's just glass half full. I mean, every glass that's on your desk, it's half full.
It is.
Every time.
Every time. You got to be optimistic.
You do. You really do. All right, let's talk about some half full stuff here for a second, shall we?
4 charts rapid fire today. I think
rapid fire.
2 requests.
And we had some follow-up from last week too.
Yeah.
So April feeders.
New highs?
Oh my goodness.
Come on.
Is it a new high?
Well,
hold, please.
I guess we got new highs.
Please.
There, though.
So 277.9. I mean, this is not a new high close. That is a new high close.
Correct. I'm sorry. I misspoke.
You know what?
We traded into new highs. We didn't close there.
There you go. So traded into new highs. Couldn't close there. Is it a double top? I don't know. Every time people try to sell this market, it just bites them real hard.
It does.
So
in the last 2 times people have sold it, they've said that exact same thing to me. If you go back where we had that first high in
back
January, end of Jan, double top, right? And they said, you got to sell it, which at that point you were correct for a little bit of time.
Just a wee bit of time.
Just a wee bit. You get to the same day, different month of 27th of February, double top. Somebody said again, you got to sell it. You were right for 2 days. And now I feel like people are going to say the same thing. Hey, we got a double top. But now, if you're a seller of this, if you've sold at those previous 2 places, I think you got to be a little bit leery of selling this again. Oh, yeah.
I would imagine so, right? Especially since you have, here's the money flow index telling you it's not a sale. Right? Momentum, clearly to the upside. Not overbought. The market's not overbought.
Correct.
So according to this, at least. And it really hasn't violated this. This is a very long-term uptrend, right? This goes back to early September, Labor Day.
Right.
We're talking Labor Day, right? Nice, healthy, steady uptrend, right? Never really got like too far ahead of itself. And so you have a lot of room to break and still be in an uptrend. So this is a warning, obviously, right? You've got a double top. You're failing to put in a new high. That is something to be mindful of. If you did want to sell it, you certainly have an area where you know you're wrong, right? I mean, depends on how tight of a stop you'd want to put in. You could certainly, bump it up just a smidge and say like anything over 280.5, I'd be done, right? But you certainly have like a tight area where you can say like the risk reward, even if you're looking to be short term, be short for the short term, right? You're risking, just call it from 270, where's today's close? Let's say you're able to get it sold and unchanged tomorrow, right? On the open, 277 and some change, right? And so you're risking up to 280.5 roughly, but your reward potential is somewhere down into here, 270. So it's like a 2-to-1 or as much as a 3-to-1 shot. Those are good odds.
They are great odds.
Right? It's good odds.
So let me ask you this: would you, looking at this chart right here, would you want to sell on the open?
No.
Okay. Me neither.
I would certainly want to see how it opens first. Is it going to open lower? Because this, I mean, when you think about it, yes, it is forming a double top, but it's also like, look at this candle. Just look at the last 3 candles, right? And let's see if we can blow this bad boy up. Page is going to kill me because I keep like bouncing around so much. But look at these 3 candles right here. Big green candle. And this is the best that they're able to do. So this rally, nearly $4, down a little over, just under a quarter, down to just under another quarter. You haven't even retraced $0.50 after rallying nearly 4.
Right.
That's not a good indication that like the bears are taking control.
Right.
So yeah, like I said, if you were looking for a spot to be short, you've got a double top, previous high basically, or really close. You've got a tight stop, you can be in there. I'm not going to sell it. I certainly would want to see how it opens tomorrow morning. I think if you really wanted to find something that was a little bit better indicator, I probably want to wait to sell it below that low. Obviously, the risk reward, goes
Yeah.
back down to that kind of like 1-to-1 or even 2-to-1 type deal, right? But you got much better confirmation at that point. And then see
Exactly.
how it acts here.
Yeah.
So
You start getting below 270, maybe. But again, go back to like what happened over the previous two double tops is you were right for a week, maybe. And then we started rallying ourselves back up. And then it's like, you better be ready to get out of that.
yeah, this is a good one. This will be, we'll
Yeah.
probably want to take a peek at this one next week or whenever. You're out next week, right?
How on next week?
Yeah. So maybe we'll see. Maybe we can sneak you out. Who knows?
What was
It's a mystery.
We'll give her a check.
Well, no, we'll give her a little try ski
Ooh.
there. So S&P
S&P for you
500
and
been
me.
in the news quite a bit. I believe we talked about wanting to sell this. I can't remember.
You did.
Who knows? It's a mystery.
I do, because I think last time we talked around this, we were at 5,900, and there was talk of if you got below 5,800, then it would definitely be a sale because we'd bumped up against that support. I mean, going back into November.
You're right.
You called this. You called this, I think, 2-3 weeks ago.
Well, what's interesting about this one is that
Show us your retirement account. Did you sell the S&P?
I think everybody's retired. I don't think anybody wants to look at their retirement
I
accounts.
bet you got short of the S&P. You're the only person in the world that got short of the S&P.
It doesn't look like it.
Because of tech talk.
It sure doesn't look like it. If you look at the way this market's traded, I don't know if you've noticed, but it's been going down.
Andy retires in 4 days because he sold.
Super interesting, though. You've got, again, 6,200 is basically a number the market could not get through. Not once, twice, but I mean, after that, I mean, this is kind of what we looked at with April feeders, except you actually had the break of the long-term trend.
Mm-hmm.
And so once it broke through here, obviously there's been a significant amount of uncertainty around tariffs, monetary policy, et cetera. And so and if you go back and look too, I mean, my gosh, don't look at the day-to-day activity or your retirement, but I mean, look at this has just been phenomenal, right? I mean, it's just strong like bull. This is a monthly. So yeah, to see some sort of retracement, I think people have been kind of thinking about this for a long time.
Healthy.
So
healthy pullback.
Right. Markets retrace. So yeah, I don't know. To me, it's like, where does this market potentially go? This is obviously a big area right here, 5,500 basically. That feels like the next stop. You get through that, and then it's, you don't really have anything until, call it like 5,300. If you're able to do that, you talk about knocking 700 points. No, more than that. It would be close to 850 points off the SPOO in a short amount of time. I mean, that's just massive. So to me, it's like I said, I think you got to go test this 5,500, and I think you got to look for what's an example of a candle you really want to be looking for? Something like
that
this.
Tom Petty wrote? Free Fallin'?
Free Fallin'?
It's kind of what it looks like.
Something like this on a longer term, like a weekly. See this 3-bar pattern right here? Big down, big 3 weeks worth of down days, followed with one big hammer, and then opens higher. That, I think, if you're looking for a spot to try to own it, what does Buffett say? Fear and greed. You want to buy it when people are fearful and
greedy.
What is it? Yeah, greedy or something. He's sitting on a pile of cash. So that's waiting until he buy stuff. But yeah, I mean, to me, technically, like I said, when do we see this big hammer? When do you go trade 5,500 on a weekly or monthly, whatever that is, and settle 5,650 or something like that?
Yeah, the momentum chart right there is.
Well, we were just looking at the weekly.
Something else.
The weekly looks bad. You still have room to go in terms of being until you're quote oversold.
Yeah.
Like I said, I think you got to go test 5,500. So we shall see. So you're telling people to look at their retirement accounts. I beg to differ. That's just me.
Look at your retirement account.
No, don't look at mine. Don't look at mine. Anyways. All right. Next one. This one came at request.
Oh.
Dec Corn came at request. Christmas corn from Jimbo Matthews.
Our good friend Jimbo? Man.
He wanted to take a peek.
Good man.
So, I don't know. What do you think here, boss?
Man. So, obviously, we had a pretty big sell-off, getting down to close to 4. Do we hit 450? Or 4?
Did we get it settled there? We certainly did get it settled. Yeah, 446 and some change both of these days before perking right back up.
It really feels like, and I know we got a WASD report today that wasn't feeding the bulls. I think as some of our colleagues had put it, if you were bullish corn, that report definitely did not help your case in any means. I look at all the wicks that we've had going back into last week, and this market has just not really picked a direction. It's kind of almost gone a little bit sideways. I would expect I've got mine on the 50-day moving average. Weren't able to break above there today. I think this is a bearish chart of corn.
Okay.
I think it's really starting to kind of roll over right here after we just had that massive break, a little bit of retracement. Let's see what these reports come out as. Didn't come out bullish by any means, and now it's like, okay, well, time to maybe turn corn over to the downside again.
Yeah. Well, tough to argue against that, right? This is a 200-day. Dipped below there for a hot second, came right back. To me, I wonder if you get one of these numbers. I'm not like that. And then, and see how it is.
Making one of those lower highs.
See how it acts around. 450 seems to be this big number, right? I'd imagine it's like $20 milk or something like that, where people look at it like it's 450. Now 451, 450. So that's my thought. Like, it seems like you could get a little popper here. You've got, I mean, look at that. You bounced right off of it, right? But you'd still have some room to move higher and still technically be weak. Put in a lower high. I always have to say that slowly. Lower high.
Lower high.
Lower high.
Lower.
So yeah, that's my thought. One big M, lower high, coming in hot. Probably should sell rallies. We'll see. But yeah, other than that, I don't really know the fundamentals of Christmas corn. You want to talk to Jimbo about that. Check out the.
We got to get Jimbo back on here. I think the people love.
You got to get Jimbo. You got to give the people what they want. They want some Jimbo.
Want their Jimbo Ever.Ag polo, always, every day. Loving life.
Loving it.
Guy.
Just
I got nothing bad to say about him.
What are you gonna do?
Non-public, at least. So.
No, we can do Tech Talk after dark. How's that?
There you go.
All right. So yeah, looking for the M, looking for more shout outs, etc. We have, like I said, we're in the hot seat right now. We're trying to do this quickly because we have 4 charts to look at. We wanted to do one last, take a little peek ski at courtesy of Wisco Phil. He didn't ask for us to look at this again. He asked for this last week. Putting him back in the hot seat because this thing has just been rocking. This is a weekly of the dollar.
It is. And I think, again, we had talked about this, and I think you had called it, bringing a retracement back to 100 was probably on the docket. And it looks like, as far as this chart's going right now, going to hit that sooner rather than later.
Yeah, this looks weak.
Yes,
this is a daily. So let's go take a quick. This is the weekly that we looked at last time. Didn't change anything. And I think, you and I talked about getting back into this consolidation. Breaking back through what was once resistance, breaking back through that. I think facilitates a trip back down and testing this low of 100 and keeping it at least in this consolidation. But if you look at the daily, that looks weak.
It does. Yep.
You got 1, 2, 3 big bars. You took this it's like this weird little stair step down kind of thing, but this is not friendly.
No.
Right here. This attempt to get any sort of retracement from this gigantic move, not friendly. And then to close below all this noise, you probably get another move like this.
Yeah.
I would not be surprised if you got something similar to this very soon.
I was just going to say that. So if you look at the rally that we had from 100 up to 103, it looks almost identical. Like, we moved within a week, maybe a week and a half, that fast. And if we get down to 103, I think you start accelerating it real quick.
Yeah, this to me looks so nasty when you have these 3 big down days and all they could do is this, and then you close below it. Like, people looked at this day and are like, nah, you got to sell that. That's a rally to sell.
Yep.
So yeah, I look at this chart and I say, just go back to the weekly. 100's back on the table. What does that mean for dairy? Lower the dollar is better for exports, right? The way that works.
Brian Rice taught us. Yeah.
Carry the 1.
Right.
I think. So
Square root of.
Carry the 1. We're doing homework. I'm doing first grade homework yesterday. And it's how many frogs jumped off the lily pad? And then 2 jumped off. And then it's there's 10 frogs on the lily pad and 2 jump off. And then 1 skirts back on. How many frogs are on the lily pad? And I'm square root of this, carry the 1.
Kind of like the dollar here.
Kind of like the dollar. We'll see. Well, how many frogs are going to get back in the lily pad? Well, I know we're running low on time. So see you back at 100 in the USD. And then see if we can get some exports going for cheese. We're certainly low enough now.
The dollar should help if we get down there far enough.
Should, but.
All right. Well, those are 4 great rapid charts. Appreciate your insights on that. Even though he didn't really technically email in, appreciate Wisco Phil giving us the layup to the dollar again. Obviously, big shout out to Jimbo giving us a little Dec Christmas corn to look at.
Christmas corn. Love Christmas corn.
He was very specific.
Who doesn't like Christmas? Who doesn't like the holiday season? Who doesn't like the holidays?
Well, everyone, we appreciate you tuning in, watching. If you have not subscribed already, please subscribe. Give us a like, follow, thumbs up. We're probably going to be off next week. We had a little bit of traveling coming on, so we might do another on location. We'll find out. We'll see what's going down. But if we're not back next week, we will be back the following to bring you all the charts that you love and enjoy and want to see through our eyes.
Love them.
With that, have a great rest of the week, an even better weekend. We'll see you next time.
See ya.